So sharing art is one of the main values of our gallery, and at Scalpt we mainly conceive art in an open way, so without any type of barriers. And that's why we try to share new artists on our page, create new content, and also share it freely. Today, we want to give an insight on one of the artists who decided to collaborate with us for one of our activities. And the artist is Ramon Schalkx. So, Ramon, which is your background? Like, what led you to start producing art?
Well, first of all, I studied commercial economics and I worked for a big telecom company for 15 years. So that's completely different. And
Yes.
in the end of 2019, I decided to quit my job and to start sculpting for a profession. I'm sculpting now for 18 years and I'm creating all my life actually. And I also sold sculptures all over the world. It's my biggest passion, and now from June 2020, it's started my profession. So I'm a professional full-time sculptor now.
Okay, so now you make a living out of sculpting.
Yes, I'm trying. Yes,
Yeah.
it's quite difficult because of the COVID. Some of the fairs didn't go on, but I'm selling and I'm making how you call it assignments. So
Yes.
yes, there's an income and there's a great start for now for
So
starting.
you make also sculptures on commission, right?
Yeah, sure, yeah,
Yeah.
very much.
Okay.
That's actually what I did last years. I only made commissions.
Okay, perfect. And if you could describe the type of art you produce and make, which main adjectives you'll use?
Well, if you look at all my work, which has some how do you call it? It's figurative, but it's also um, very abstract sometimes. And I work in stone and in bronze, and I'm now joining these two together. But if you look at it, that line in it is like balance, movement, emotion, strength, and representation of life.
Okay, so you say you are using two main materials, bronze and stone, right? And now you also try to combine the two of them together.
Yes, yes. I sent some pictures and
Yes, I saw the last picture you sent me. The figure was made in bronze, and then the rest of the sculpture was made in stone, right?
yes, Carrara marble. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, like, I would like to ask you, what is the aim of your art? What you like to express? What you want to express with the art you make? Not only the one on commission, because of course that's something different, but the one you make yourself with your ideas, your beliefs.
Yeah, that's a good question. I have many interests. One of them is nature, and
Nature, okay.
I did a lot of work with nature. I did some volunteer work in South Africa. I left the sculpture there for educational purposes, and am now busy working on some sculptures which represent or give some attention to all the environmental problems which we have now. So these are the very layered sculptures with a story with it, which will start a story about nature, about environment,
Okay,
and
that's with
that's
so with a message, right?
yes, there with a message. There's one behind me, which is a
Yes.
diver. You can
Okay.
see,
Yes.
which is an old man who is 80 years. It's a story of National Geographic, and I got really inspired with him because he lives in a balance with nature and only takes what he needs and gets what he needs from nature, not more. So no
Okay, it's not
overfishing.
spoiling the environment like for himself. It's only taking
Yeah,
what's there for him.
yeah, that's it. He lives a very simple life, but he's happy, and yeah, we should look at those things more, I think. Don't get too greedy, don't get too much. We
too
destroy.
egoistic, let's say, like taking everything just because it's there, even if you
Yeah,
don't really need it.
yeah, that's
And last question, but it's really important. How do you see yourself in society as an artist today? What's the role of an artist nowadays?
well, I think artists nowadays, artists exist for thousands of years. They go back to the
Sure.
Egyptians, even before that. You see, there they found some drawings in Australia which were 17,500 years old. So it's a representation of life. Sometimes it captures a moment, it captures history, but it can also give you some consolation and guidance, like memorials. But it also makes the world more beautiful. And I think that without people knowing, almost everything around us is designed or made by an artist.
Sure.
All see, and so that's it gives the it gives people a nice environment to live. Gives understanding on some subjects. Art is a universal language. If you
Sure.
look at
Yes.
a sculpture, everybody can see the sculpture and can think about something of the sculpture and can see the story of the sculpture, whether
Yes.
it's Italian, Chinese, American, Dutch, or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's a common language, and that's also what we try to do with our gallery.
Yeah,
Um, like these sculptures don't need actually explanation behind them, you know. You don't need intermediation from some art specialist or curator. Everyone can have his own interpretation of the piece of art that can be different for everybody. I mean, sometimes the message is common, but sometimes everyone can have his own view on the piece. So that's also why we like to share art on the page without actually giving the hint of understanding it, unless for some really specific pieces. So I really appreciate the explanation you give about yourself as an artist in society. That's really really great.
you're welcome.
And so I guess we can conclude the interview saying thank you for participating and being willing to collaborate with us.